Today I want to talk about the Agent Sessions view, and the reason I want to talk about it is because it has finally became default on. And to be honest, before I even start talking about it, I'm not sure why it was not enabled by default up until now. But now that it is available by default and everyone will see it, I think it's quite exciting, and I want to show you how I've been using it, and probably all of us will be using it from now on. So if you haven't seen this icon on your right or left pane called Agent Sessions, so you will once you update the insiders. And once you click on it, so different views are available inside it. The most common one is obviously the local chat agents. This one shows the all of the sessions that were basically running inside the VS Code IDE, and you can see the current one which is open or last one you opened, and also history of them, which is quite nice to not see all of them because it will get really messy and cluttered if we have all of them. Second one is the GitHub Copilot Cloud Agent. So if you already have this enabled in your account, you will be able to see all of the background agents that are running, and you can see that I have one that is actually running as we speak, which I created just for demoing this now. And I have a few historical ones. You can see they're quite old, but we can see also them. And a new addition that will probably all be starting to use soon is local, I don't know how to call it, local remote agents, but you can see that this one is showing the GitHub Copilot CLI agent. So you can basically also invoke the Copilot CLI agent from the IDE. I previously published about this. There's also Claude, and I think Codex might be coming as well. So basically we can see, I think, that we are getting a clear picture of what this view is. It's basically a mission control. We can see all of our agents that are running, and we can move between them. I'll show it in a second, and control them, review them, see what's happening, and even collaborate as a team. Because, for example, the GitHub Copilot Cloud Agent, which I'm seeing as part of the Prompt Boost repo, if I would have had more team members on this repo and they would have been working on their IDE now, and I initiate a Copilot Cloud Agent session, they would also see this session invoking and running, and they can click on it and review, and we'll see all of this in a second. So let's start from the start. The local chat agent. So one thing I like about this is I said we can see the current one, but a little known fact, or it's actually should be quite known, is that you can open multiple local agents at the same time. So how can you do that? You have the new chat button here, and you have the drop down. So one option is to open a new chat, which will basically try to open it on the right or left side where you have the current agent open, but you can also do new chat editor or window. So if I'll click on the new chat editor, a new agent session will open, a local one, in the main editor. I can also go into a bit more immersive experience and open it in a full window. But what's interesting is you can see that all of them appear here. So basically, if I'm running a few of them, let's give an example. I went into plan mode here, and I created a plan. I'm good with the plan, and I'm moving to the agent mode, and I'm starting to run on the agent. So I know it's quite mesmerizing to look at the agent code and do stuff. But obviously, maybe this is the first level of productivity with an agent. But the next level is not looking at them, but actually open another one and another one and another one, and doing multiple tasks at the same time. Now, this is a bit problematic because if you're running on the same code base and you have multiple agents, you've got to orchestrate them in a way that you know that they are not touching the same files. Otherwise, it would be probably a bit cumbersome to manage this. But for example, you can open another one, and if you're sure, for example, you have another task which will not touch the other task directories and files. Let's say you're working in a huge monorepo and you're actually isolating tasks per application somehow. So this is a great way to manage it. Another one is that you can basically open another one and start planning with it. So you're already working on the existing one on the first agent tab, and you can start planning your next task on another one, and you can quite easily move between them and get the focus into them. So I lost the other agent window that I opened as a separate window. Okay, so this is interesting because I don't see it open. Maybe a bug. But still, if I'm opening a few ones, so I could easily move between them. Obviously, once I'll start chatting with it, it will get some clear title, so it will be easier to identify it. And as you can see, we can also create our own title to identify. Now, let's say that I'm already mastering the local chat agents and I'm running a few, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as much as you feel that you're productive. But you could also delegate tasks to the coding agent. So this is not new. This was available for quite some time. If I'm going to click something here, I'm going to see this button getting enabled, and I can delegate to the agent from here. This would open a remote session inside the GitHub Cloud, so you can see through the github.com/copilot/agents under you can see the agents tab here. You can see different agents that I'm running, and you can have multiple agents running at the same time. We can see that this one, which actually is running also here, is running, of course. So I can invoke it from here. I can invoke it from here. I can from here, I mean. And let's zoom a little bit. Yeah, so I have the agent window here, and I can also review it from GitHub itself. So if I'll click on this, it will open the PR, and there's a description, and there are even checkboxes which are automatically being updated from the session which are running. You can see my original prompt, which is not very useful, but you can see it. You can see that it's referencing instruction files. So we still have our guardrails and how to do stuff, instructions being applied on the agent, on the remote agent. And if we really want to see, we can also see the session of the remote agent running. So I can see it. Let's give it some time to load. So we can see everything that it's doing, and the reasoning and the file updates, and if it uses tools. So all of this is available from here. But as developers, most of our time will probably be spent in the IDE. So why do the context switch? Why even go to the web and open the github.com site and lose the context from our work? We have 7 local agents running, and we still want to keep our eyes on them. So we can also see this session running from here. And before I'm going to click it, we can even invoke them as a dedicated chat from here. So I'm going to click the plus sign here, or I can go into it from the command palette, chat, new GitHub Copilot Cloud Agent. So it will open a dedicated chat, and I can start writing to the remote agent from here. And if I'm going to click on this, so I will be able, let's clear some, okay. So I'll be able to see the runtime of the session. This is kind of what we saw here, okay? So basically we can see it also in our agent, in our IDE. We can see that it opened the PR. If I'm going to click on it, I will even be able to see the PR locally inside the IDE. So you can see the exact same UI with the checkboxes, and we see that it is getting updated. And we can see the Netlify preview, so I can click on it. I can actually click on the view session from here. I never did that, so I'll click on it now with you. Let's see if it will open something. No, but it's this basically. Maybe because it's open. I don't know. Let's see. Let's close it for a second. No. Okay. So it would be really nice if this would open, and we can see this because you can see it anyway. But I'll open this again and just go over this. We can see the session running. We can see that it's doing things. We can see that it's using Playwright, so this is nice. The remote coding agent has Playwright MCP built into it. So if you're opening pull requests for things that have UI, so we would actually get nice screenshots and be able to review it. You see, perfect. The screenshot shows the animation completed already. So once it finishes, usually it updates the PR, and we can even see the results, so we can review them. And this is really awesome. I can show you an example of an old PR that I opened. Okay, so maybe because it's so old, I'm not seeing the PR already. But if we'll open the previous sessions, we'll go back to the agents view. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so we can see that actually before and after, you see, so I actually got a screenshot of the changes that it applied. So this is quite cool. Basically, I can invoke the remote agent, and I can even walk off my desk and still be able to see it through the mobile application, which you can also use the agent from there, by the way. So you can see the sessions from there, and I can actually on the go have a quick look, see that I'm on track with the results. So again, I'm stopping and just see how many ways we have to interact with the Copilot agent in the remote sessions, in the local sessions. This is basically a way to manage a legion of agents in an efficient way when I'm on the ID, when I walk away from the ID, when I walk away from my Mac. And this is quite cool, but still with this sessions view, I can still be able to have 30,000 feet view of what's happening with my agents, where they're at, if they finished, if they're still running. And this is quite cool. This is really nice. And the last one, which is not the last one, I only have the GitHub Copilot CLI agent. If I would have had a Cloud Code, so we would actually see also Cloud Code. But the last one is the GitHub Copilot CLI agent that actually allows us to invoke the Copilot CLI from inside the ID. And you can already see I ran like just a small experiment. I asked it what's happening in this project, just to see what's happening. And it created a small analysis. He did a small analysis and gave me like a high level what's happening in this repo. I actually ran it on another repo, so this is interesting. I'm seeing the results of a run on another repo. So I don't know if this is intended, because the CLI agent is indeed global, but maybe this wasn't what the team meant. So basically, I can still see results, but I see it from a different repo that I ran a query for. And you can open dedicate the session views with the GitHub Copilot CLI agent. It also says that here. So also this is another thing that we can see, like there are dedicated views for each agent, and I can choose the different models. So we can see we are limited only to the premium models now in the CLI agent, and I can add context, and I can delegate my request to the GitHub Copilot CLI agent. So all in all, this is quite awesome. I can now sit in one place, keep my context, run multiple contexts of different agents, but still be able to see it at any given moment, what's happening, and review them and move between them, and still be able to keep my focus in one place. And but also, I just want to say about this, it's not only working alone. I mentioned this during the review, that this is also enables team collaboration, because for at least the Copilot Cloud agent, the ones that I see also my team members can see. So if I want someone to see, I can just tell them, hey, please take a look at the session. And a nice thing is that you can open it, as we saw, and still review it, but you can see I didn't pull anything locally, right? So I don't need to do that annoying stash and stop my work and have a context switch when a team member asks me to do that. I can review it here, see what's happening, and even continue conversation with the remote Copilot agent. So I can basically, if I see that the results are not okay, I can invoke another prompt and tell it to fix it, change it. So I have multiple contexts of Git working at the same time of the agent, but they are not clashing with each other and interfering. So we have local work with multiple agents in local CLIs, remote, and it allows me to manage many agents in different places and also work with my team members to provide review and steering of shared agents that run in the cloud. So this is amazing for me. I would think that this should get even a more front and center view for the new agent session. So this is quite cool. And from the latest insiders, this is now enabled by default. So you don't need to enable it. It will show once you download and refresh your insiders version. So I'm sure this will be presented in GitHub Universe or just after. And a great job by the VSCode team as usual. I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.